lesson 106 is on linear equations, graphing lines, and they give us two sets of coordinates, and they ask us to find out, they word it like this. They said, find the equation of a line that passes through these 2 points. And so we're going to use these points as an example, point 1 and point 2. So here's the coordinates, 4, -2, which if I went over 4 and down 2, it'd be right about here-ish. And then -3, 4 is the other one. So -3, 4 is the other one. And so it's about here, and the other one's about here, and they want to know what line will pass through both of those. And so if you were to be just having the graph, the coordinate plane, and you graphed those 2 points, then you've got those 2 points, and you can get a ruler and you can draw a line connecting them. But you can also do this mathematically, and that's what they want you to learn today. So we are going to use the equation of a line formula, and we're going to use the formula for a slope. And we will then plug it in when we find out the slope. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now if you remember, slope is right here on the equation, and it is rise over run. It's always in a fraction form. So you know how many go over and how many up, or how many back and how many down, depending if it's a positive or a negative number. So we have these 2 coordinates, and we're going to plug them in here to y2, y1, x2, x1. So if this is point number 1, then this is going to be x1 and this is going to be y1. And if this is point number 2, this is going to be x2 and this is going to be y2. So I'm going to plug these numbers into this formula. So m equals y2, that would be right here, is 4, minus y1, which is -2. So I write -2 even though it's minus -2. And then x2 is -3 minus x1, which is 4. And now I solve it. So that equals 4 minus -2 is the same as saying 4 plus 2. That'd be a 6. -3 minus 4 is -7. So this is my slope right here. So I take this up to here, and I have y equals 6 -7 plus b. Okay? Now, to graph that, we are going to substitute, let me see here. So I'm going to pick one of these coordinates to fill in for x and y. See that? So I'm going to pick 4, -2, the first point, and I'm going to plug that in for x and y, and that will help me solve for b. Because what we have is the slope, but we don't know where it needs to cross the y-axis. And since we know that both of these coordinates are part of this equation, you can pick either set of coordinates to plug in for x. There's supposed to be an x right there, sorry. X and y. So I'm going to plug in 4 and -2 here. So my y is -2 equals 6 over -7 times, what is my x? My x is 4 plus b. I'm solving for b because I need to know where it's going to cross the y-axis. So I need to multiply this out. -2 equals, that's over 1. So that would be 24 over -7 plus b. Now, when you do it like this, what do you do to get this over here? Do you remember? So first they're going to have me convert this -2 into something with a -7 denominator. So, or a 7 denominator, sorry. They're going to put the negative on the top. So, or just out front. So we can put that right here. And I'm going to make this -14 over 7. Okay? Now I can subtract 24/7. Add 24/7 to both sides because this already is a negative. We want to add it plus 24/7 to both sides to isolate my variable. So if I have 24 and -14, that would be 10/7 equals b. So b equals 10/7. So that is more than 1, but not quite 2. So on my, if I was to graph that, if this is -1, this is -2, and this is 1, and this is 2, 10/7 is like, here's 7/7. And if I were to make this into 10 little, or 7 little marks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10/7 would be 7, 8, 9, 10. It'd be right there is where it's going to cross the y-axis, 10/7. And then I have my other two ones, my other coordinates here. I can use my slope, which is 6 over -7. So that would be back 7, up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I would do the same thing here, but the opposite, I would go over 7, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I see that I have a line here that I can run through all of these to graph it. And this will end up being 4, -2. And this will end up being -3, 4. And that is how you graph and solve. So to recap, you need both of these formulas. They give you a set of coordinates. They give you two sets of coordinates, point 1 and point 2, which we pointed out on here. You plug these in to the slope formula. You solve for the slope. Then you pick either this point or this point, because we need an x and a y. We know both of these are accurate. And I used this first set, and I plugged them in to my y and x on this one to solve for b. We've never done that part before. We have found slope before, we have graphed lines before, but we've never solved for b. So since they gave us 2 points, you can use either one for x and y in this equation, and it will work. And then you solve for b, and you know where b is going to cross the y-axis on the coordinate plane. So you're going to do 2 of those. They're going to give you 2 sets of coordinates for each, and you can just follow this pattern. It is so simple. Just takes several steps. As you can see, this is all for one problem. So I think you'll do just fine on that. Was problem lesson 106. 107 coming up.